Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day everyone. My name is Nurul Zulaika binti Zaini and I'm from University Malaysia, Kelantan. Today, I would like to present my mini project entitled Estimate Population of Aedes aegypti in Indigenous Village using Ovitrap and larval sampling. Aedes aegypti is one of the most important mosquito species because it acts as a vector for several dangerous diseases including dengue, fever, Zika virus and chikungunya. This disease continued to affect millions of people worldwide, especially in tropical countries such as Malaysia. Indigenous villages are among the areas that may have a higher risk of mosquito breeding due to environmental conditions such as stagnant water, poor sanitation system, and improper waste management. Therefore, monitoring the mosquito population is very important because it helps identify breeding activity at an early stage and supports disease prevention efforts before outbreaks occur. First is background study. Aedes aegypti is widely recognized as the primary vector responsible for dengue transmission. In Malaysia, dengue fever remains a significant public health issue with thousands of cases reported every year. Mosquitoes usually breed in stagnant water found in containers such as buckets, flower pots, water storage containers, discarded tires, and clog drains. Several environmental factors contribute to the increase in mosquito population. These include high temperature, heavy rainfall, poor drainage system, and ineffective waste management practices. When this condition exists, mosquito breeding habitats become more abundant, allowing mosquito population to increase rapidly. Previous studies have shown that Ovitrap surveillance and larval sampling are among the most reliable and cost-effective methods used to monitor mosquito population. This method provides important information regarding mosquito abundance and breeding activity within a specific area. Next, we move on to problem statement. Despite the increasing number of dengue cases reported in Malaysia, information regarding Aedes aegypti population in indigenous villages remains limited. Many indigenous communities are located in rural areas where vector surveillance programs are not regularly conducted. As a result, the actual level of mosquito infestation in these communities is often unknown. Without sufficient surveillance data, health authorities may face difficulties in identifying high-risk areas and implementing effective mosquito control measures. Furthermore, most studies focus on urban areas, while fewer studies have been conducted in indigenous villages. Therefore, this study aims to provide baseline information regarding the abundance and distribution of Aedes aegypti population in an indigenous villages environment. Next, we move on to objective. This study was conducted based on two main objectives. The first objective is to estimate the populations of Aedes aegypti using Ovitrap surveillance. Ovitrap are designed to attract female mosquitoes to lay their eggs, making them useful for monitoring mosquito breeding activity. The second objective is to determine the abundance of mosquito larvae through larval sampling methods. This allows researchers to identify active breeding sites and estimate the level of infestation within the study area. Next is scope of study. This study focused on estimating the populations of Aedes aegypti in Post-Tetong, Kuala Lumpur, Pahang. The research is limited to mosquito surveillance activity using Ovitrap and larval sampling methods. Data collection is conducted only at selected sampling location within the study area. This study focused specifically on the egg and larval stages of mosquito because these stages are useful indicators of breeding activity. Environmental factors such as breeding habitats and surrounding conditions are also observed during the study. However, this research does not include disease surveillance, dengue case analysis, or insecticide resistant testing. Next part is significance of the study. This study is important because it provides valuable information regarding mosquito population density and breeding activity in indigenous villages. The finding can help local communities better understand mosquito breeding patterns and the importance of environmental cleanliness. In addition, the result may assist health authorities in planning more effective mosquito surveillance and control programs. This study may also contribute to future research related to vector surveillance, environmental health management, and dengue prevention strategies. Ultimately, better understanding of mosquito population can support efforts to reduce the risk of mosquito-borne diseases. As shown in the poster, study area. The study was conducted in Pos Titom, Pelipis, Pahang. This location was selected because it represents a rural indigenous village environment. The study area consists of residential houses, surrounding vegetation, drainage system, and stagnant water sources that may serve as mosquito breeding habitats. Environmental conditions in this area, including humidity and rainfall, provide favorable conditions for mosquito breeding. Sampling locations were selected based on accessibility, environmental suitability, and the presence of potential breeding sites. Next, we move on to materials and instruments. Several instruments were used throughout the study. These include Ovitrap for egg collection, lava dippers for collecting lava, pipettes for transferring samples, and sample bottle for storage. A microscope also was used for species identification, while a GPS device was used to record sampling location. Datasheets were prepared to record observations and calculate mosquito indices. A camera was also used to document breeding habitats and field activities. Next part is methodology. This study uses a quantitative cross-sectional field survey design. Two sampling methods were used, namely Ovitrap sampling and Laval sampling. For Ovitrap sampling, several Ovitraps were placed randomly, both indoors and outdoors. Indoor location included bathroom, kitchen, and sheltered area behind furniture. Outdoor locations included flower pots, water storage container, drains, and shaded area. The Ovitrap were left for 5 to 7 days before being collected for examination. The eggs found in the Ovitrap were counted using a microscope, and then for lava sampling, water holding containers around residential area were inspected. Examples include buckets, water drum, tires, flower pots, bottle, plastic containers, and drainage system. Lava collected from this container were transferred into sample bottles and later identified in the laboratory. Next part is data analysis. The collected data were analyzed using descriptive statistics. Three important entomological indices were used. The first is the Ovitrap index, or we call it as a OI, which measures the percentage of positive Ovitrap containing mosquito eggs. The second is the house index, or HI, which measures the percentage of houses containing mosquito larvae. The third is the container index, or CI, which measures the percentage of water containers that are positive for larvae. Higher values of these indices indicate higher mosquito abundance and a greater risk of dengue transmission. The results are presented using tables, charts, and graphs for easier interpretation. Next part is the flowchart. The flowchart summarizes the overall research process, beginning with preparation and planning, followed by field sampling, laboratory identification, data analysis, interpretation of results, and report writing. Then, the Gantt chart shows the timeline of activities over a period of 9 weeks. Each activity was scheduled carefully to ensure the project could be completed within the allocated time. Next, the milestone table highlights important achievements throughout the study, including proposal completion, field sampling, laboratory work, data analysis, and final report submission. Finally, the estimated research budget for this project is around 390 ringgit, which cover all the essential materials and equipment required for sampling and data collection. In conclusion, this study focused on estimating the population of Aedes aegypti in an indigenous village using Ovitrap and larval sampling. The study provides useful information regarding mosquito abundance, breeding habitats, and infestation levels within the study area. The finding can support mosquito surveillance programs and contribute to more effective dengue prevention and vector control strategy. Overall, these research highlight the importance of early mosquito monitoring in reducing the risk of dengue transmission and promoting a healthier community environment. I hope that the finding from the study can serve as a useful reference for future research and assist local authorities in improving mosquito control efforts. Thank you for your attention and time. I sincerely appreciate your interest in my presentation. If you have any questions or comments, I will be happy to answer all of them.